The Makers International Podcast is brought to you by Yorkshire Grit, the Woodturner's Abrasive Paste, Highland Boxes for all of your resin and hybrid pen blanks and knife scales, Mancrafting for amazing customizable powder-coated Yeti mugs, and by Harneal Media for their website development and hosting services. For more information, go to www.makersinternationalpodcast.com and click on sponsors.
Wait to get here. He was here. He
There
comes.
he is.
There he is.
Top just for the show. There we go. Welcome, Matt. So, let's get on with the show. So, here we go.
Why not?
Right. Good evening, everybody, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever it is you are listening. Joined with me, as always, Mr. Chris Cute.
Cheers.
Mr. Dale Kirkwood.
Okay.
Mr. Jake Thompson.
Hello.
And Matt Wackerle from Wacky Works Workshop.
Howdy.
So yeah, Matt, you're in the hot seat tonight, mate. Good luck with that. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently. We started to rotate Mr. Pugh's questions. So today, Mr. Sweet Tea, as he likes to be known, Jake Thompson, has got some in the Thompson's toy box. So what have you got for us, Jake?
So,
I just come up with that. I don't know where it come from.
hey,
Wait. I need to go back to the Thompson's toy box. I mean, that should be a segment. That should be a segment because that just there's a whole world of things that could. Anyway, I'm sorry, Jake.
It's along the same lines as Mary Poppins' handbag.
hey, as soon as I heard it, I got nervous.
So did I.
All right, Matt.
I can't say anything.
Andy had several questions. We're going to ask you the first one, and then if you kind of overlap, then I'll mark off the other ones. And then when they're covered. So can you just go over what got you started woodworking, what got you interested in making, and just kind of go on from there?
I started woodworking when I was younger, as a kid, just doing remodeling, stuff like that as a child, and worked my way on up. Started doing a lot of woodworking when I was 15 or so, building speaker boxes and stuff for the kids in the neighborhood, and kind of progressed from there. And then got out of it for a while, and then got back into it recently after getting on YouTube and seeing a lot of things there. And went to a Atlantic convention and met Sterling Davis, and he told me to start filming everything I could, and that's what I did. And then here I am.
Awesome. Well, what Atlanta show were you at? Because I may have been there as well. Maybe we met. I don't remember.
I think it was 2018. Atlanta Woodworking Convention. Yeah. You'd know me because I was the guy that didn't say anything on stage.
Oh,
when they interviewed me.
Jamie, is that the year that
pulled me aside?
Jamie, is that the year that we did the podcast from the hotel?
No, so that was the only year I didn't go. I went to the 2017 and 2019 ones.
Oh, okay.
I believe there was a fire in Atlanta or something like that in.
Oh, that's when the
2018.
Yeah.
In
2017. 2017 there was a fire on the road.
Yeah.
In 2017, but I still got the blame for the one in 2018 because I weren't there.
So you kind of answered why you started your channel. If there's more to elaborate, but the next question is, why did you start your channel, and is it the same now, and where do you see it in the future?
No, it's not the same now. When I started putting stuff on there. It took me a while to figure out how to put it on there, and actually the first video I filmed was the like a tour of my shop, and I couldn't figure out how to put that on there. And then once I did figure out how to put it on there, I had already put other videos on, so it was kind of out of order. But I put it on. The very first video that I filmed was for my mom. She had a stroke, and I did a tour of the shop, and wasn't able. I was trying to get it to her so she could see it because she couldn't come see my shop, and I got a bunch of extra bowls on there that I had filmed, and I finally learned how to put it on there. And I hurry up and broadcast it on there for that she could see it. I think I got it on there in November.
Nice.
Nice. So where do you see it? So what's the purpose of your channel going forward? I guess is.
I think that I want to. I'm learning as I go. Obviously, I've only been turning for a little over a year now, but I like the showing what I know, because like I learned from people when I first started, and I want to give it back. I want to show people what I've learned, and maybe I can express it in a way that's different than somebody else has said it. And that's what happened for me is I learned from somebody, and it kind of hit home how he was explaining it. Other people had explained it the same exact thing, but they explained it differently. And so different people learn different ways, and I think that makes it easier for people.
That's like an after-school special right there. That was nice. Okay, so
let's not break out the romper room quite yet, there, Jake. All right, come on.
So everybody knows that you do turning and resin. Do you do other things besides that?
Actually, turning and resin, I just got into it in the last year and a half. I usually do flat work. I'll do a lot of flat work stuff as far as like cutting boards, cabinet making, and so I got into it actually. Do what?
Haircuts.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's my wife. But no, actually, that's what I was actually into first, is building cabinets and stuff. And then I got really interested in resin, and then turning. And once I got a class, my daughter actually got me a class to take in resin, or not resin, turning. And I took it at Woodcraft, and it was, I mean, there went my next vice right there.
You're hooked.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh.
So, will you tell everybody what you do for a living, if you want to? If you want.
Yeah. I work for an engineering firm. We do third-party testing for commercial material testing and geotechnical. So I run. I'm an area lab manager. I run 3 labs right now. 2 if you consider the mobile labs that we run as well. And I also project manage 42 projects right now.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that meant, but you got a job, right?
Yeah.
So just want to give a quick mention to Matt's better half, who's out in the chat, Brandy. So hello, Brandy.
Hi,
Hello, Brandy.
Hi, Brandy.
Yeah.
One last one from Andy, and then I have one.
Okay.
What's your next project?
It's probably going to be a resin room. That's probably I got a bunch more on YouTube that I rescheduled or previously scheduled, but yeah, it's probably going to be a resin room.
Yeah, you got me on that one. You got me. So my question, your wife's in the chat, so you don't have to be politically correct because you're not at home right now. I know that. So like, your wife and daughter also make things.
That's correct.
So the question is, what do you enjoy more, the things that you make or watching them make things?
It's actually a combination. I really like making the resin. I like making the resin, but I like watching her turn the pens and stuff like that I make out of the resin. I find that very interesting. Just her different approach to it, because she's never had classes, she's never done anything, but she does a great job of getting those pens turned, and so it's kind of like her approach.
So, in your personal opinion, whose turns out better?
She is a much better finisher than I am. Much better finisher than I am. She actually pays attention to how you sand, and she watches somebody's videos. So
There you go. That's what I got, man. I tried to get you. I tried to get you in trouble at home. I don't think it worked. You're too
I
good.
don't get in trouble.
Yeah, Matt. Congratulations. You're not going to be spending the night on the couch tonight, and you may actually have a warm dinner. Who knows?
You've upgraded to the spare room.
Heck yeah.
Out of the doghouse into the spare room. Yeah, you had a question for him though, didn't you?
I've got a couple of questions, but I'm gonna pace them out a bit. So one, given you're so close to the start of, really the turning and the resin stuff. I mean, what advice would you get? I mean, what advice would you give people starting at it? I mean, you're quite fresh to it. I mean, it's you look at Jake, and Jake's got years behind him now on this one. What advice would you give in the early days of coming forward? And if there's anything specific about turning speeds, I'd be interested to hear about it.
Well, follow the instructions first of all on the products. First and foremost, learn that stuff the hard way, and then keep your speeds down when you're turning.
Don't go 1800 then.
3600, whatever you were turning that thing at. Yeah, but no, reading the instructions and then follow other people's instructions and mistakes that they've made. And I think it's most beneficial.
What do you prefer in terms of tools when you're doing it? I mean, there's a lot of conversation about traditional carbide when you're doing your resin work. What do you prefer?
I do both. When it's mostly wood, I turn traditional. But if it's got resin and a lot of resin in it, I turn carbide.
That's with a negative rake, yeah.
I don't have a negative rake at this point in time, but I would like to get one. But I raise up my rear end of the tool.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because I'm saying that it makes sense to me, and let's be honest, who the hell am I? But I mean, because I do the same thing when it's wood, I use traditional tools for the most part. Now I may finish like tapering down the very ends of a pen to join with a carbide, but the majority of the turning I do is with traditional tools. But when it comes to resin, I don't see where traditional tools has an advantage over carbide.
With traditional, you can turn resin with traditional.
Sure,
you're going to spend a lot of time over the sharpener sharpening your stuff to get back over there, and that's the reason I don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So apart from present, he's over here. Where is he? Right, he's over here. Apart from him, who's your other current favorite resin blank makers out there on YouTube? I mean, who else can you talk about that have inspired you? I mean, Jake, put your fingers in your ear, man.
Peter Brown, he does some good stuff. And there's a guy, Ben Works.
Oh, Ben's works from Australia.
Yeah. He does some pretty cool stuff. And there's also a guy by the name of Shop Dog. I think
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
He's doing some really good things with he's doing some eggs right now that are
he does some beautiful work.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't mention to you and actually suggest you that you go check out Pam Harris as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Last question, I think, from me, and I think in the spirit of joviality. So, in terms of the certificates behind you there, do you have one that proves that you know how to work a spirit level?
Actually, there is one. It's called the face floor flatness. So yes.
For those of you listening on SoundCloud, Matt has a very, very level and square flat top haircut that he's sporting today with us.
That is my wife right there. She is a master at the.
Does your wife has a certificate to say,
That is why Dale is giving him a hard time.
I don't know if Matt wants to go into the whole joke behind
I don't.
No, you don't.
It's run its course, man. It's good. We can never talk about it again.
Exactly.
Well, well done on the haircutting. I mean, impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Good foundation. You can always build on that.
Or subtract.
Get a Starlink dish mounted on it. That'd be perfect, man. Just put the broadband everywhere. Look at the camera.
All right, Matt, I got a question for you. Because we all have different stories regarding this. See, mine was my father, but I mean, do you have somebody who inspired you to even be interested in what you do today? But was there an inspiration to you that just kind of made you want to go in this direction, or was there a guiding hand in your youth that kind of put you on your path, or did you come into this rather late in the day?
No, I grew up with a single mom, and she said she wasn't going to raise a sissy. And at 5 years old, we started remodeling houses.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And so there's pictures of me at 5 years old helping sheetrock and putting in the screws. And we just kept on working on through there. And I get more hands on power tools, the more interest I got. And I was fascinated with tools, and started collecting them when I was about 15. Bought my first table saw, and just it didn't stop.
Well, props to your mom, first of all. Way to go. Yeah. She was ahead of her time back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without doubt.
Good for her. That's awesome. That's awesome.
How tall were you at that age? 6'2"?
6'1", 6'2"? I mean,
5'9".
I got all the lower stuff, trust me.
And in case you're wondering, Matt is a good sized boy. Let's just put it that way, okay? If you're in a dark alley walking, Matt wouldn't be a bad friend to have walking next to you. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm still not scared of him.
Matt's so big that if you walked into him down a dark alley, you'd think it was the wall.
Jimmy, I'm not scared of him either because I know I can outrun him. I can outrun most big guys.
Like 30 feet after that.
No.
An oxygen mask and a bench.
No, brother, you ain't catching me. Especially if it looks like you're mad. And brother, I'm gonna put smoke in your face.
He might have a truck though. Saying about his truck, he might not be good with directions. And speaking of that, I know Matt's got a story about asking for directions, which is quite funny.
I traveled for about 13 years straight. I've been in every state in the United States testing and stuff. And I was in Iowa, Story City, Iowa, and I was heading, and they had me go up to Birdseye, Minnesota, and then from Birdseye, Minnesota, I was on my way back, which is a 7.5 hour drive just one way. And I was on my way back, and they said, "Hey, we need you to go to Madison, Wisconsin." So I started across the state of Madison, Wisconsin, and there was an ice storm right behind me, and I was trying to beat it, which I didn't. I got caught in the ice storm. And I finally got into Madison, but when I got into Madison, it was only like 55 degrees. And there was these two old men sitting out in front of Dick's Meats. Okay, that was the name of the meat market, Dick's Meats. Can't make this shit up. But these two old men sit there, and I said, "Hey, my GPS isn't working. And is there any way that you can help me out?" And he said, "Sure you can." And I'm writing all these directions down, and they're explaining to me step by step. I said, "Appreciate it." And I headed on down the road, and I start reading back the directions. They said, "Get to the second to last stop sign, take a left, and you'll head on down, and the highway will be down that way." And I'm like, "Cool." Second to last stop sign. Yeah.
Not even
there we go.
Not even gonna go there.
So how long did you stay at the meat store?
Yeah, I was going.
So out of all of the projects that you've done, may it be on YouTube or not on YouTube, have you got any favorites that kind of stand out for you?
I think my favorite one of all time is actually a handrail that I did. A winding staircase.
Oh, nice.
And that was figuring out all the angles and the cuts. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And a
As far
lot of sanding.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a solid oak randall. And we
Nice.
we put it all in. We got it all together in place or outside, and then we had to carry it in and put it in at one time. And it worked.
And it worked.
Yes. So that was pretty good. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
Nice. So just quickly scrolling through the chat to see if anyone's got any questions. But if you have got any questions, feel free to ask. I'm sure we'll be willing to ask them, depending on what they are. But while we're waiting for them, there's always one question. We haven't actually asked it for a long. Or I haven't asked it for a long time. Boxers or briefs?
Jockeys.
You didn't even take time to think.
I know. Right?
That's the start one. That's the start one.
Hold on.
Slipping out.
Jockeys are the boxers, are they not? Or are they the tighty whities?
No, they're actually looser in the center, but yet they go down your leg and they're tighter on your legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're like the median. Median.
They're
hybrids.
Designed.
They're hybrid.
They're the ones designed to stop one getting out, and you accidentally roll over in it when you're standing up. Those are those ones. Work well when you get older.
So, there we go. So we've got the first question coming from Super Incognito.
Speaking of keeping the ball rolling,
the question is, what are the certificates actually for, or are they really for the haircut?
No, certificates are for concrete, soils, and asphalt, and also aggregate, braking strength, geosynthetic liners, masonry, nuclear gauge, transportation and use. So it's just stuff like that. Stuff for our testing, our fields of testing. Gather them throughout the year. There's more over there. I just ran out of those things.
Do you know anyone that does woodwork? Do you know anyone that does woodwork and can make you some frames? I mean,
yeah, maybe a hybrid frame.
Yeah, it's just working here. It's like 60 to 80 hours a week. So trying to go home and get things done there too.
Make a resin one with tritium in it. Make a resin one with tritium in it. That way you can put it around a nuclear one. I mean, it would even glow.
He's trying to tell you that it's low on the priority list, but okay. But he's being polite about it, so I'll give him credit for that. You did a video a while back, and it may have been a couple months ago that you released it on. And I'm interested only because I don't have dust collection in my shop, Matt. Mm-hmm. And I saw that you put a video out on a Harbor Freight 2-stage dust collector. And yes. How's that working out for you? Is that something that...
Yeah, phenomenal. It's what I did is I have a Harbor Freight dust collector. The DIY Tyler has a good video on how he converted his, and I kind of stole some of the ideas from it, and then had ideas of my own. And then I upgraded the propeller to the Raycon propeller and the Oneida Cyclone, and then I got 2 wind environmental air filters to put on it, and it works phenomenal. It's and then I got how to test it and how to kind of go through it from Jake's video, and so I got what's it called, Jake? An aerometer or aerotometer? Anemometer. Bingo, that word.
Yeah.
I got one of those, and I actually checked it before, and I checked it afterwards, and it almost doubled on the airflow that was coming through it, almost.
Okay, I'm asking this only because I'm curious. Because if you add the cost of the Harbor Freight air filter, which I know isn't all that expensive, I mean, it costs, it is a little owie,
right?
But then you add on the Oneida and you add on all the rest of the stuff.
It was about $700, yeah, at the end of the day.
Well, my question is basically this: could I have bought a $700 to $100 dust collector that would have done the same job without going through all that?
Probably, but because I didn't buy it all at one time.
So you basically upgraded over a period of time. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah, that's cool. Because nobody has $700 just kicking around to go, oh, let's collect some dust today. Yeehaw! Here's $700. Yeah. I got it. No, I get it. But I mean, because did you pipe that with PVC or was that metal?
PVC. Everything is PVC with PVC blast gates for everything. And I got me and actually Jake were talking about the other day. We both have 10 blast gates for 10 different hookups in our shops. And I have, I think 60, 70, 80, 90 feet of pipe that's piped through mine.
I'm just curious about
that's a lot of pipe.
What's a blast gate?
A blast gate is
I open up a door.
It's basically a door for your piping. Seals it off.
It's a one cheek sneak for your freaking dust collection, Jamie. I mean, what do you
I open up the door and then blow all the dust out.
I have another one, Matt, if you don't mind. I noticed on your shop tour video that you had it all done in SketchUp, and then when you did, if people don't know, Matt, he mapped out everything for the resident room we're building, down to every single 2x4 and everything. So my question is, how did you learn how to do that? Is there a certificate behind you? Like, how did you?
No, there's not.
How did you get good at it?
I got good at it by practicing, but I also watched a couple people. Drew Short, I watched some of his videos on it.
He's a good guy.
He has a real good informative on how, and even after I was good at it and proficient at it, and he told me I was good and proficient, he actually commented on one of my things. But still, he showed different things of how to switch things up and make it's so much more efficient. It's playing with it and getting used to it. But once you get the basics down, which he has a 101 basics thing, once you get the basics down for SketchUp, it's pretty fast. Now they make you pay for it. It's a yearly subscription to it. But back then it was everything was completely free. But you can still use the free version now just to do the basics for it.
Nice.
There you go. Emma Dragon Tail Turnings is dragging you into an argument that is quite regular on this podcast. Pizzas or tacos?
Do what?
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza or tacos?
Yeah. Tacos, because they're tacos. Yeah, probably. God, I'm a seafood eater. You know, if I see it, I eat it. So
then you're probably gonna go with fish tacos. But I mean, whatever.
No, I don't do the fish tacos.
No, me either.
I love Mexican food. I could eat Mexican food probably 5-6 days a week. But I got to have my pizza at least once a week. So.
There you
All
go.
right, I'm half happy with that answer.
Probably because you're on one of the sides.
Yeah, well, exactly. And you straddled that bridge very successfally. I just want to say, Matt, you answered the question without ever really answering it, which was very impressive. I like that.
That picket fence you're sitting on must be going right up where the sun doesn't. And on that note.
So there's another question from Seth from Brickhouse Craftworks. He says, what was the first woodworking or wood turning project that you made? You realize I can make a living at this?
Well, I don't make a living at it, but I had, when I got into wood turning, that made me want to start doing this for a living. And that was I think that it was a blue bowl that I did. It was a maple and blue bowl. That was probably my first one. It's actually one of my YouTube videos. That was
I see that.
Mm-hmm. That was the one that made me want to do this.
Yeah. Maybe something for retirement. Put it in the back. Put it in the back burner. Because obviously you're employed now. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Super Incognito says you can get the older version for free now. And they also says SketchUp is epic. So yeah. So we've obviously got other people are basically just saying how great your work is. Shop Dog is out there also says how great your work is as well.
Mark, the gentleman wood turner. Mark, I'm not asking that question. I'm just not. I'm not, because it's wrong in its premise.
What was that?
I'm not mentioning it.
Okay.
Voldemort from Harry Potter. You know, I mean, you're not allowed to say this. That pizza, that fruit on a pizza that shall not be named.
Yeah, that shall not be named.
You know,
pineapple don't
strawberries
belong
on pizza, Chris.
Oh,
Did you
he
feel about
said it. He said the word.
If it's pineapple, it don't go on a pizza. I'm sorry.
I have a question. But if Jamie doesn't have a question, I have one.
I've got one from the chat, mate. So you go first, and I'll just keep an eye on this one.
So, like a good way to tell if you're totally happy with the tool you have. If you had that same amount of money to spend over again, would you get the same one? So my question is, with your lathe, what lathe do you have, and if you had to get another one, would you get the same one?
Yeah, I like my lathe. I like it a lot. I got the Grizzly G077, I think it is. It's a 21-inch capability with a 47-inch depth or length on it. I love my lathe.
Go big or go home, right there, Matt.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
That's what I'm talking about.
Here's the whole story. Okay. Me and my wife, after I found out I love turning, took that class, we both decided we're both going to get a lathe. She said, I want a smaller lathe. You get it. Then I want you to pick out your lathe. And I was like, fine. So we were going to get them for Christmas for each other. Well, I got hers and I still didn't get mine. The only problem is I never got off hers. Never got off that thing. And I kept turning it. And then she finally said, either go get your lathe or we're just not going to do this. Yeah, exactly. So I got my lathe. Well, then when I got mine, I got a really big lathe, and she says, "Oh, so I get sloppy seconds." So, so then,
there's no winning. There's no winning.
So then I got her lathe, which is just one step below as far as the motor's the same. Everything's the same. It's an 18-inch instead of a 21-inch. Is the only difference of hers.
You just had to outdo her.
Why not? Why not?
All right, no, seriously. We got 5 guys in the room. All right, gentlemen. Everybody who has ever won an argument with a woman, raise your hand now. Exactly. Oh no, Dale. No, really, no.
He's not there. He's not there.
I have never.
No, I have one, but I mean.
I've never won an argument with a woman. Never.
Yeah, it usually cost me in court. But I'll win.
Okay. Dale, you had your arm up.
So the trick. I think it's a trick. I think it's when you start the argument, you set out in the premise that you're going to be judged wrong, and you make the entire argument counter to the point you're actually trying to get. And as you start that one, sooner or later, it comes swinging into where you want it to be, and you say, I agree with you. And boom, you're done. Works every time I try it on my other half. She's wise to it, though. No, she's wise to it. It worked today when it was going to be nuts or chocolate raisins. Well, nuts are better for you, kind of thing. The chocolate raisins are the best. Like, well, let's get both. Result.
You win.
Yeah. So just for a little while, she let me. It's exactly right. As Emma says out in the chat, she let me win. That's it. You know what I mean? So I won the argument.
I've never won an argument.
So Brandy's out there saying she never asked for a bigger lathe.
Ooh. Oh, yes, you did. Oh, wait, that's pantomime.
Come on. Let's see what you got this time. Let's see what you got this time.
But she pointed out what she had was sloppy seconds. I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah.
She actually had a sign made up that went right above the lathe that said sloppy seconds.
Never wanted a bigger lathe, but I just wanted to make sure he knew I was getting sloppy seconds. Right.
No, she was
in other words, that's the guilt trip most women love to put men on. Thank you. Yeah. You're holding up the corral there, Brandy, for all women. It's like you made us feel guilty.
It says there's another question from Seth from Brickhouse Craftworks. He asks, "What are your plans for the future, and how do you plan to grow?" If he grows any more.
No. What is he talking about? His YouTube channel?
It'd be about 7 foot.
What grew? What are we exactly worrying about here? Is
he talking about his YouTube?
Here?
We're gonna assume it's a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue to post, and right now I'm just gonna have fun in post. I don't want to worry about how many followers and this because I think that gets up in your head. I'm just gonna continue to post and try to get better at what I do. I mean, here I am. I'm what 15 videos in, or 15 or 16 videos in right now, and I got 300 and some odd followers. I think I'm doing pretty good, but I don't want to worry about that. I don't want to care. I just want to. I want to post and put out content right now and get better at
That's
it.
where to be.
Well,
That's where
okay,
to
there
be.
you go.
Don't care about it.
perfect segue to a plug time. Matt is obviously a very nice guy, and so if you would like to give Matt some love, his link is down in the description. Just click down there and click on see more, and then click on his video channel. And if you want to, show him some love and subscribe to him. All right, because we'd like to see him walk away with this for something. Because obviously we're going to berate him for the next half an hour, so at least let him go home thinking it was somewhat worthwhile.
Seth asked another question, but that one's already been asked, Seth. So that was asked right at the start of the show. He basically, what advice would you give to someone who wants to take the same journey as you? So yeah, that one's. I think that's already been asked. Unless you want to add a little bit extra to what you said before.
No, I mean it's basically the same. As you got to look at people that have already been in those footsteps before you and follow instructions. And that's pretty much it.
Well, man,
Yeah.
I'm looking at your channel. I've seen you. You've progressed from doing. I think your very first video was doing a flat work video, like making your own trim or something.
Yeah.
And then you've moved on and you've started turning, and then the resin came in. Is there anything that you would? Are you centric on turning, or are you going to be centric on resin, or pretty much whatever you decide to do and you decide to film, you're going to put up?
Pretty much everything. Anything I put up there is what I'm gonna put up there. If I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna be doing some flat work here pretty soon. I want to, but it's gonna involve resin as well. I like the resin. I think it adds a little certain something to it. But there's also some other inlays that I want to try as well. So maybe some soapstone or something of that. I don't want to pigeonhole myself into one thing. I want to be able to do a lot of things.
What is that stuff? Is it Scott Grant Easy Inlay? Is that the stuff that he sells?
Scott Grove.
Scott Grove.
Yeah.
Scott Grove. Sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Easy Inlay. Check out Scott Grove, Matt. I mean, because apparently the product he has is actually really phenomenal. So
Yeah, that's easyinlay.com.
yeah.
So I've been doing a bit of thinking, Matt, and I just want to test this with you, right? I've been having a few beers, kind of thing, and I've been sitting here trying to say Matt Wackerle of Wacky Works Woodshop. I reckon you should recommend that to the state troopers to get people to say it to work out how drunk they are.
You can say this, we'll let you go.
If they could say it by if they've had like 3 or 4 beers, it's going to be a tough call. You know?
They would arrest.
I'm not even sure if I
Yeah.
can say that. Matt Wackerle at Wacky Works Workshop. I could not say it fast. If you told me to say it 3 times fast, I'd be a bumbling idiot.
They'd be
Get it back
arresting.
in the car, Mr. Q.
They'd be arresting sober people.
But you know what? By golly, your taxes are going to go down because we're going to make some money somehow, some way. Matt, where do you live, if you don't mind? What city? What state?
Georgia. I live in West Georgia, right on the Alabama line.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
Tallapoosa.
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 Georgia.
Alapusa. You know, I think I've actually driven through there. Don't remember it, but
If you're
I
on
remember-
I-20 heading towards Alabama, you'll drive right through it.
oh no, I've definitely driven through it then. Yeah,
Remember
not
the
because,
state
but I
troopers
wasn't
will
heading. I
ask you
wasn't.
to say
I wasn't heading to Alabama as a destination. I don't think I've ever headed to Alabama for a destination. Sorry, Alabama, if you're out there, and that's no offense. I just never have. Did I save myself? Did I save myself? Or am I pretty much screwed with everybody in Alabama? Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, I have driven that way through because I lived in Florida for a while, Matt, and I drove that way through on my way to Texas. more than once. And then I actually drove that way through to California once, but whatever. I just never was a Bama Tide kind of guy. I'm sorry there, y'all. Sorry.
So, I'm just wondering if Matt's improved his shipping skills of his blanks as of late.
Hey, that's not my shipping skills. That's the postage skills. I mean, when you play soccer with the blank in the box.
Oh, no, I think it could have been American football.
Oh, is that what it was?
No.
Yeah, happened your side.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Wait, I know there's a story behind this, Jamie. There's a story behind this, Jamie, because Matt sent you a blank, and then he ended up having to send you another blank. And I don't know what.
And then I sent him another blank.
And all of a sudden, Jamie wants to talk about American football.
Yeah,
all he does is hate on
it.
And he's apparently gone to grab something.
Let me know it's not American football. It's hand egg. So this is for those on SoundCloud. You'll have to come over to YouTube and rewatch it. So apologies for that. But this is the remnants of the first blank that Matt sent. It was an unfortunate mistake, but this is how it turned up to me, like that. So it's actually a really nice blank, but when it turns up like that, it's not the best. So it's one that needs repairing. But Matt was a very generous man. Felt quite guilty for something he didn't do wrong, and sent me another blank, which he tried breaking my arm with.
No. We tried to spin it at what 3,600 RPMs or something.
1,800.
Didn't break your arm. He also broke your lathe.
No, that was a different one. That's actually tonight's video. Theme. That's actually tonight's video. I edited that part out though, but yeah,
that's the first plug Jamie gives himself this evening, and we'll wait for the second.
I've actually got the third blank Matt sent me in front of me, so I'll show you that when we get to the special segment in the show that everyone loves.
So do you just keep breaking them so he keeps sending them, or how's this working? What kind of racket?
Yeah,
that's a hell of a racket you got going on over there.
Dagnamit, I've been found out. Dagnamit.
Yeah.
Humbled
Dead Riser's got a good point. He says nothing a little CA won't fix. Especially Star Bond with 15% discount.
Oh God! Plug number 2.
Yeah, Jake 15 at checkout.
Plug number 3. Dale, I don't know, man. Either we're paupers or we just aren't brazen enough to put stuff up there like that.
You two got a touch of class about you.
No, Dale, you and I are going to get together. And we're going to find a way to put a link up here while we're doing the show that says buy us a cup of coffee, and that money's coming to you and I, because these guys are making enough money off of their stuff. We may as well get something out of it.
I'm liking your thinking. Hashtag not a plug
sweet tea. Sweet tea, not coffee.
I can send my share to Matt for the shipping of the broken blanks.
What kind of wood is in that one that broke, Jamie? What kind of wood is that?
The one that's in the wood. Cherry was in the one that broke. The one that was the repair. The actual video was sported maple, was it not?
Yes, cracked maple.
Rotten maple.
That shit worked out perfect.
Come out beautiful. After it nearly broke my arm.
Well, cherry can be very pretty wood, so I'm sure you can repurpose that somehow.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna wax some resin in there.
If
we had a beat button, I'd be using it right now. But that's not true, so I'll stick with them words.
Matt, what speed would you recommend turning one of your blanks at?
Not 1,800 RPMs. I'm gonna tell you now. I turned mine about 600 RPMs.
But
Yes.
about 3 times slower. Really?
He was close. He was
Really?
close. He was close.
Oh, it's close.
Just a bit outside.
It
Oh
made
my
a hell of
God.
a bang. Yeah.
600 is good. Let's do it at 3 times that. So we can go faster.
We could use some more questions from the chat today. If you guys have some, we've got about I think we got maybe 15 minutes left to go. We got about 5 minutes left for more questions. So if you guys want to get them in and ask Matt something, extremely personal, I don't care. That's up to That's not. I'm not in the hot seat today. It doesn't matter to me. So it's wide open. It's whatever you want to do. I'm trying to think of something that I can say in front of a family-friendly audience that will.
No.
What's the name? What's the name? What was the name of that meat store again?
All right. Well, I'll ask the obvious question. Because, and I know we kind of referenced it, but you never actually said the name. Who actually got you into resin casting and doing stuff with resin? Who was it?
It'll be Jake. Mr. Jake Thompson down there with Northside Customs.
Just doing my job. Just doing my job here.
Was it the Southern accent that made you relate to him, or was it? I mean, or why did he say things that were relatable to you that other people that say the same stuff that he does that you didn't get the same kind of gist from? Was it because he was, just because he was Jake, or what's the deal?
He speaks it in layman terms. He breaks it down. I mean, very simplistic, but yet still. I mean, it's not a complicated thing, but at the end of the day, it can be. And so he breaks it down very complicated, makes it very easy to understand, and it makes you feel like, well, heck, he's doing this. I can do this.
If Jake can do it, I must be able to.
If this imbecile can do it, then I know I can do it. I mean, that's all.
I'm not a smart man, but I can do resin.
Everybody do their best Forrest Gump impersonation right now. Jamie, we've got a question from Brickhouse in the chat.
I'll just see it. So I'll get it up on screen. So, what skill or technique is something that you'd like to try but haven't had the chance to yet? Say scroll saw.
No.
It's actually probably something totally different.
With welding. Go for it.
Would be welding. I want to do a little bit of welding and get into some metal shaping.
That's a good answer, because I kind of have that kind of itching. I have that itch myself, but I don't think I want to think I'll ever go 100% into it. I mean, it's not that kind of rabbit hole for me. But there are times when you need to have those kind of skills just around the house and things that you want to make.
Well, it's more of doing legs for tables.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you go shopping for legs and you look at them and it's nothing that you want.
Nope, I agree with you.
And you have this idea in your head. If I can put that on paper or put it on, in real life, that's what I want to be able to do.
So have you ever welded at all? Or are you starting from square one or
I have welded. I've welded it, for lack of a better word, it looked like Gorilla Nuts, but I've welded.
there's a whole lot of better words than that.
Not compared to what this looked like.
So it's actually a question for all of us now from Super Incognito. What do you all do or used to do for a living?
Who wants to go first?
Take that first. So I don't mind taking that first. So before I was signed off, I used to be a UPVC fabricator, or basically make double glazed windows. So that's what I used to do.
I'll go next. I work in IT. Still work in IT, and that's really about it.
Jake?
For the last 10 years, I've been a correctional officer in maximum security Texas State Prison, and I ran the psych ward. And I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up. So do with that what you will.
I think we have like 3 episodes. We have like 3 episodes of shows with that there, Jake. I think we could probably go down your stories to tell, and it would take us over 3 hours to do that. That's awesome. As far as the trades go, I've never really been a professional tradesman, except for the one time I worked as a professional painter. When I was in college, I painted my way through college. Outside of that, out of college, and I became a chef, and then gave up on the restaurant work because that's just a crazy freaking business, man. I'm telling you, it's just nuts. And got into radio, and that's where I spent the last 25 years of my employment, was working in broadcasting. So.
Nice. So Super Incognito says, wow, that's crazy. Weren't you a Marine also?
Yeah. Marine for 4 years, but I'm 46.
Hoorah.
So there's 42 other years of other stuff.
Yeah.
But I was a Marine. Yeah.
Resin cast and accessories.
I've been doing the engineering thing for 23 years now, but before that, I was a tattoo artist.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Were you really?
I hope you still got all your stuff, because when I come to the States next.
Can I ask?
Actually, my daughter bought some stuff. She bought her own machine.
I have to ask the old farty white man, question here. What is the deal with women getting tattoos all over their body nowadays? I don't get that. And I'll tell you, before you answer, I'll tell you why. Because in a man's view, in a guy's view, a woman is born with the most beautiful thing that could ever be put on this freaking planet. And why they decide to decorate it with tattoos is beyond me. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't.
Just form of expression, isn't it? I
It
suppose
is.
to a certain degree, yeah.
I think tasteful tattoos are actually beautiful. But that's
Yeah.
and it's each person's opinion. I mean, there's some things that I don't find very attractive, but I put them there before.
I think it depends on what they put on there, to be honest.
I like it when they have them on their face. It means they make poor decisions, and I have a chance.
And the winning answer today is Jay Compton.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's why Jake's a trendsetter.
Yeah, that's right. Think outside the box.
Hey, it's just it's just me, an individual. I never understood it. I never got it. I just don't get it.
Oh dear.
Whatever. Anyway, Jamie, unfortunately, I hope you have it queued up, and we don't have to listen to you.
I've got it queued up.
Okay,
queued up.
it's
We've got to listen to the lovely edited version. Boring.
Thank you. Let the fat lady sing, baby. Go.
Here we go.
Jamie's page.
Yeah, I'm so happy we have
love
that.
it.
I'm so happy we have
There we go.
I like the picture.
So the first, and let's go with the first. The first part of that is our ex-co-host and the very lovely Joe Whittaker of Average Joe's Joinery hit 30,000 subscribers.
All right, Joe.
Recently, so congratulations to Joe. He's one of the founders of the Makers International podcast. So we know how hard he works.
And let's be honest, you said all those game shows he was on has finally paid off for him.
Yeah, without doubt. So obviously in 37 minutes I've got a premiere coming up. So there's that. So on to my shout out. My shout out actually goes to the Matt, who's actually we've just been spotlighting, of Wacky Works Workshop. He put out a video called "Jamie's Favorite Color is Clear," and it's where he made me the third blank, which is solid resin. And I've actually got it here with us. So again, apologies to the people on SoundCloud, but it's a weird video soon. So I'm going to quickly put a light on it, and I'm going to quickly highlight myself so I can show the people onto YouTube's. And this is basically what it looks like. It's a bit of a lump. So
It's a bit of a.
there we go.
Holy moly, that's nice. That's pretty.
So yeah, it's going to be a cool video. So yeah, a big old lump. So I don't know if you want to quickly tell people the dimensions of it, Matt. Let's
Should
quickly
be
take me off.
6 inches. Should be 6 inches in diameter, 10 inches tall.
Yeah, sounds about right to me.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Matt is my my shout out.
Sounds
So,
like Jamie's
Yeah,
fishing trip. 'Cause that
Yeah.
that's,
that's what
I'm
she
not gonna-
said.
I'm not going to elaborate. I just want to.
You have to take a wall down to get it in your shop.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's all my shout out done.
All right. Well, you're our guest, Matt. So let's have you give us yours first.
Joey Gonzalez of Steel Blade Woodworks, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's got some. He's putting in a Texas size workshop
That's
right
right.
now, and he's doing a really good job at it. He's got a CNC machine he's getting to put up there. He's got some. He's an up and comer, but I think he's got some good things coming up.
But is he doing a resin room?
I don't think he's doing a resin room. I think it's a Jake Thompson thing. Well, no, because I have one too. So
Yeah.
Look at Dale. He looks like he's just a sad boy. Dale, you got a shout out this week or what?
I'm shouting out a guy called David C. Roy. David C. Roy is a kinetic sculpture artist. He makes moving sculptures out of wood. He's been doing it for years, since like 1975. He's been featured in Wired. He's been featured in TED Talks. He's just got a video out last week called Calligraphy. It's a beautiful piece that's trying to capture the spirit of beautiful handwriting, but with movement. Go check him out. It's really cool stuff.
Awesome. Jake?
I got David from Turnings by Turner. He does wood turning and he does resin casting, and the videos are like they're short to the point, not a lot of messing around. Cool music like Jamie likes. Pretty cool stuff. So
it's great
Turnings,
music, then.
yeah, it's great music. Turnings by Turner.
No.
Awesome. And by the way, all the links to these shout outs are in the description below. Just go down there, and if anything interests you, then click on them. We would encourage you to click on all of them, but that's up to you. Obviously, we're not going to force anybody. My shout out this week is to a channel that's titled Buckin' Billy Ray Smith. Now, Jason McGinn and Matt Branda turned me onto this guy. This guy's a Canadian lumberjack. But his personality alone is worth checking him out. But he does all kinds of crazy stuff. Trust me on this one. If you go to Buckin' Billy Ray Smith and you watch, you will laugh more than once. So give that man a watch and check it out, because I thought it was rather funny, rather humorous, and actually very helpful, depending on what you're doing. So check it out.
Cool question for Jamie out in the chat from the Q from Andy Pugh. He says, "Has Jamie been training his beard?"
I did get a trim. Yeah, he went a bit over the. He went a bit over the top when he first done, but apparently it needed to be done to get thicker.
Are you putting product in your beard now? I mean, you put product in your beard.
I'm using the special Hampshire Sheen stuff at the moment, beard oil.
Do you have to use do you have to do like sand and sealer first before you put Hampshire Sheen beard oil on? Or
I never did get an answer back. I'm thinking about melamine lacquer that Dale gave us, so maybe that might work.
Well, do us a favor. Do us a favor. Yorkshire Grit the mustache, and then Hampshire Sheen the beard. And let's know which one.
That could work.
Jamie's
Ebonizing lacquer to take out the greys.
Jamie's pretty proud of it too. We were on a live, and I was trying to be serious. Like, you got anything else you want to talk about? He said, "Yeah, my beard. Let's talk about that. Get out of here."
We got to get out of here. Matt, thanks for coming on with us today. We do appreciate it, my friend. And
thank y'all for having me.
You're a saint for putting up with us.
Yeah, without a doubt. So next week we should be talking with James Wright from Wood by Wright and Making Evolution. So that's going to be a fantastic show if you like talking about old tools and all that good stuff. So yeah, until next week, we'll catch you later.
Have a great week, everybody.
So,
Y'all be good.
boy.
There we go, Jake and his hat tip.